What's up?
Not much. You?
You know your camera's not rolling?
It is.
It's not.
Yeah.
Nope.
Red dot.
That's the other red dot.
When I started rolling it was playing that.
It's not playing it. Are you second guessing yourself? We got the fence guy's gonna come out and we're getting some numbers for the fence. We got the dozer here to clean up the dozer piles. Eli is in town dropping off meat at like what, 10 different places, huh?
Yeah, Nashville, Murfreesboro, and here. So.
Oinkin Acres, you guys know Eli. He's been on a bunch of the videos, and he's running 100 head of. Are they called heads of cat?
Yeah, they're
head of
pig.
Yeah. 100 head of pig. And Eli's pigs are very, very different from any of the other pig you guys can buy anywhere. It's he grazes them. Would they be free? Would they be free range?
Yeah,
free
they're pasture pigs.
Pasture.
No confinement whatsoever. But
you guys see the pictures on Facebook. He has huge trailer loads of fresh produce and stuff before the stores throw it out, and he feeds them off on that. He's got a bunch of coolers of meat. We got a bunch of bacon he brought in and some different sausage and stuff. And we just want to get him on camera and kind of talk about the difference of what his product is compared to product you can get at like Whole Foods and stuff. Whole Foods, meat is obviously more expensive than the grocery store meat, and there's a difference. And Eli's is levels above that. And you hear guys always say, oh, that's expensive. I can get this other stuff that's almost as good. But the fact is, it's not as good. Almost as good is not as good. And we always talk, Eli, every time I talk to Eli, he's got different stuff going on, and his methods have changed and evolved, and we're going to just talk about that for a minute and tell you about what he's doing, and I'm going to hear a lot of it for the first time also. So, dudes pay Eli to come, 4 or 5, 6 hour drive.
Yeah.
6 hour drive while he's in town delivering for restaurants and different organizations. And we're lucky enough that we get to buy some of his product also. So, what is the main? What's the differences between what you sell and what is available elsewhere?
Big difference goes into actually every part that goes into meat itself. The actual meat that you start with. One of the things I do different is I don't have pigs on confinement, on concrete, anything like this. So I have a slower growth rate. I have meat that, because they're on pasture, they're actually burning calories. They go through more feed and more rations than a pig on confinement would, but they're actually burning calories. They develop muscle, they build fat ribbons, and they actually get ribboning and marbling in the meat itself. The color's completely different. A lot of the heritage breed pigs, between that and the diet we feed them, able to get just really pretty dark, just rich meat with just full of flavor in itself. We're not feeding, like 40 milligrams of antibiotics per every 5-pound feed ration, and it's not slop and sludge that they're getting out of tubes, and we're not running farrow crates with the moms and stuff. They farrow, when they have their litters, they do it out on pasture on their own. They actually build nests. I have ones that, they'll start ripping shrubs and bushes and branches off cedar trees and actually build a nest and lay in it and make warm bed areas, and when they're going to go into labor, they start nesting and doing different things. But it's, they do it naturally and let it occur, and it takes longer to grow them and to get them to our market weight, but it seems to be a right way. I started doing it as a hobby, and a few people would try some meat that I had, and people were like, hey, you've got something here. And I got it into the right places, and they're like, no, you've really got something here. And we saw that come July 3rd of this year was the first day to do any USDA processed meat for resale. And July 4th we had the party up here, and that was like the first of general public to ever try it. And then people tried the chops and the bacon and had it, and smoke it off food truck, and people who've worked with quality meats and who can buy what they want, and they're saying, hey, this is on point. This is something here.
I know. When I asked Shane how he prepared that, he said he did nothing but put salt and pepper on it.
Yeah.
And like your bacon, grocery store bacon, you get that thick cut bacon, but when you cook it, it just cooks down. Eli's bacon, it just doesn't cook down. It
because a lot of what you're getting is like high pressure water injected. Being a small scale production farmer, like I take my live pigs to processing for USDA, for the processing, like to get harvested. That's why I have them. There's no qualms or ifs, ands, or buts about it. I harvest meat. I grow it for a reason, to give people something there that's not full of antibiotics, full of chemicals. And from the time it's processed to the time it's killed to hang to cutting, I am typically 90% of the time there with the inspectors while stuff's going on. I like to maintain that quality control so that when I deliver my chops for the week to that restaurant, they're getting the exact, you know, 0.9 of a pound chop right there, just under a pound. They want a 1 1/4 cut. They want a little bone on it like a tomahawk. Like I can guarantee that when I open that box of that fresh meat that they're getting that. And I like that. When people, you know, I'm the first person like I know that's like, yeah, I've got a product that like people consume and do stuff like that, and I think it's neat. Yeah, it's there for a minute and it's gone, but people enjoy it. You know, we're supposed to get 3, 5, whatever meals you want a day. People like to eat, but when you can sit there and know every step of the way how something came, you know, when I'm on a menu at a restaurant, they typically tell a little story about the farm or something on there. People know locally, and that's a big thing. You know, you can have actual trust in where it came from. It's not a pink goo or a mess from McDonald's or this or that processed out. Like, I don't sell Boston butts, and I don't sell like shoulder steaks or any of that, because all my sausage is made from prime cuts. It's made from Boston butt, or it's made from the shoulder. You know, and it's just the fat that's in there. I don't use pieces, parts, no mechanical separation and stuff like you'd read on Vienna sausage can. It's all lean primal cuts.
It's a good product, man, and like from the beginning to the end, all the inputs that go into those pigs are stuff that you and I would eat. Like it's all real food. Like there's, like you said,
they eat better than us. Like they truly do. You know, I pick up from a number of organic grocery stores, like Earth Fare and places like that. We got a Whole Foods coming in and hoping to work out with them. But like all the fresh cut fruit that they cut every day for those fruit bowls and fruit baskets, like all the edges of the pineapples and stuff, and places like Edible Arrangements and stuff that like cut fruit bouquets. Like I can get 400 and 500 pounds of fresh fruit that they keep refrigerated for me. Like they cut it that day. Like you don't get it that fresh, you know, any other way. It's older than that in your own refrigerator at home.
And they're not delivering that shit. Like, like he has to go and pick all that stuff up. Yeah,
and we sort it, separate it, and you know, I'll haul anywhere from 18 to 25,000 pounds a week of produce, whether it be fresh cut or whether it be just pallet loads of collard greens or of watermelons or whatever seasonal stuff is in, through the contracts I have with the produce distributors. But last week, like I'd wanted this to be over because it's really, really wearing on me, and I don't need any more psychological issues. But these pumpkins, like right after Halloween, I ended up hauling 48,000 pounds of pumpkins. Okay,
holy crap!
Like trailers loaded down every day, running trailer load of pumpkins, and I'm free feeding and stuff, running tractors, just dumping pallets and big load bins of pumpkins. And like pigs are loving it, and pumpkin seeds are actually natural wormer too, which is really cool. But you know, and overfeeding them is great water, great fiber, stuff like that, but just so much. And I thought it was over, and then I got a call last week, and they're like, "We got more pumpkins for you." And I'm like, "What?" And that's why in the back of the truck is nothing but pumpkin stems.
Saw that, yeah.
Like I was like, each time going put 4,000 pounds in the back of the truck, you know, and I was like, I'm getting tired of it, because like at the end of the day, like to go to certain fields, and when I broke them up, like I'm throwing pumpkins in, and like at the, you know, when it's all said and done, I'm like, oh my God, I'm like, I couldn't work out. I can barely grab a beer right now, but I'm gonna make this work.
will the pig bite the pumpkin open, or do you have to smash them?
They need to. They get smashed. Some of the smaller ones, pigs are weird. People are like, a pig will eat anything. Yes and no. Like, if it's something that has real smooth skin on it, to where like if they go to bite it and I guess their tongue touches it and it rolls first, like they back off it. Like a tomato, most of my pigs won't eat tomatoes if it's whole. But if I take that tomato and I throw it and it hits the ground and it busts, they'll eat it. But like bell peppers and stuff, I think a lot of it has to do with the pheromones that it gives off the Scoville heat and whatnot. But I think a lot of it is that waxy finish. But like the ducks and the chickens will eat all the peppers, all the onions, all the tomatoes, stuff like that the pigs won't eat. But anything else that you can think of, a pig will eat it. I mean, you know.
So when you rotate your paddocks, and the pigs have eaten those seeds, and then pass them out, do you see that stuff sprout all through the paddocks through the years and stuff?
Oh yeah, and like I see corn that'll sprout up. If I get kernels of corn in the back of my truck, and it gets wet, they'll sprout up. I always joke about being a raised bed farmer when I got corn growing in the truck bed. But
that's cool.
But yeah, you'll see. So and pumpkins are an easy thing to grow depending on the climate and stuff. It takes a lot of water, but I mean, you'll get pumpkin stalks come up. I had little watermelons come up, like little ones this past year. Most of the pigs get through them if they're still in there, but there's a lot of things that people will plant as far as annual or perennial stuff, but different vegetation based. Like one of the things is Jerusalem artichokes, and so they're under the ground. And a pig actually roots it up, and I mean it's full of fiber, vitamin A and E, and stuff like that. And in the wintertime, one of my favorite things that I get right now is avocados. And like avocados are expensive, but I mean I'll get pallets of avocados and like all that good essential fatty acid, because people don't realize that like a pig has to adapt to the weather, to the climate change. Like their hair follicles will thicken in diameter, their coat, they'll develop like a second part of armor in their coat, but to keep them from drying out and keeping good oils in the meat, those good essential fatty acids, like you have to hit that nutrient balance, that ratio.
That's all energy that's taken away from the meat to do that coat and stuff. So how do people get your product? Can people get your products right now?
They can locally. I was hoping to be at the point where I could ship and do that. And I mean the thing is I could sell out of everything after every processing date if I could ship. But logistically, with it being me 90% of the time, or not being able to count on somebody like saying every day to do shipping or every day to do logistics and order pulling. The thing to do would be like to do 2 shipping runs a month maybe, and then just do that for 3 or 4 days straight. But when you're talking, pulling all the orders, packing them, but then you're talking about insulated containers going into boxes and dries. It's something that, if everything keeps going, I hope to grow that way. But, until then, I mean, I love everybody's support that I'm getting and people want it, but right now, I mean, I'm local in the South.
Plus, I mean, you got enough demand that you can move it all locally.
I do move it all. And that's the thing. It's not that there's not a demand. There's a great demand for it. I'm not in a ton of restaurants, but the restaurants that I'm in are higher end restaurants where I live. But I'm also trying now. I came out of a bar at 2 in the morning a few weeks ago. I think it was actually my birthday or so. And there was a hot dog vendor out front. That's my dog, and like he's selling smoked sausage dogs and different things like that. And this dude's local where I live. And I looked at the price he was selling it at, and I talked to him. I said, "Man, look, let's do some collaborations and stuff." I said, "Let me throw some bratwurst your way, or do tomato basil or some of my special stuff, and we'll just do them for a week at a time, or different things like that." And I hadn't heard from him, and he called me when I was on 40 on the way up yesterday. And stuff, and he's like, "Hey, this is Charles from That's My Dog." He's like, "When can we get together?" He's like, "Man, I was reading your stuff on some reviews and stuff like that about your products." And he goes, "You talk to me about price." He goes, "I don't care." He's like, "I want to sell your stuff." He goes, "I want us to do something. You're local, I'm local," and I like that.
Yeah.
It shows that there is support for doing something, and as people feel the right way.
It's awesome, man. I know. Amanda said, "What do you want to get?" I said, "Fucking just anything he has." Like I don't even know. Just fucking.
Yeah. I've got an assortment of stuff, but I've bacon. God, I wish I could have an entire pig of bacon. But like on a 265-pound pig, we harvest out might, depending on how it is, you don't know until you open it up. But hopefully get 20 pounds of bacon from that pig.
Right.
But that 20 pounds of bacon is. Bam, it's gone. And I don't sell bacon and stuff to restaurants because I have the public demand for it. And I've got to the point now where I have return clients, you could say, or customers that are like, they shoot me an email or text, and I have 2 or 3 predetermined locations in town during the evening, and one person will buy 5 pounds of this, 5 of that, 5 of that, and they have like a weekly standing order. And they're like, "This is our meat guy." And that's how I'm introduced. And it's got its novelty to it, and I like it, but did a big Oktoberfest in Montgomery, Alabama at a place called Filet and Vine, and put out like 20 pounds of our stuff for sampling, and it was all gone within like the first 10 minutes. And none of the other stuff got touched. And Montgomery's a big Air Force town. well, one of the heads from the War College was retiring out, and he tried the stuff there, and he had been stationed in Germany. He loved it. Next thing I know, I got a call, and he's like, "Hey, I'm having a retirement party. I want my entire retirement party catered like out of your stuff." So it was like one order right there for 65 pounds of different bratwurst and sausage. I'm like, that's cool.
Yeah.
You know, and somebody who's been overseas and enjoyed that stuff. And then a good friend of mine was in from Germany a few weeks ago when I was in the event that I sponsored for Faces of Diabetes. And like, he's from Germany, from Frankfurt, and like trying the different bratwursts and everything like that. And I was waiting on him to say something, but his facial expressions told me everything. Like, he gave me the confirmation, you know, and so do so many chefs, and it's cool seeing an appreciation for it.
That's awesome, man. So what's next?
Continuing, I'm at a forced expansion. I'm at that point where it's like, okay, everything's going so well, but you're creating your own demand. And I mean, yeah, you want to do that with business, but I don't want to be everywhere. Like, I don't want everybody to get it. Like, and you're one of the people that taught me that. And like, people are like, well, what do you compare your stuff to? I'm like, I want to be the fucking Tiffany of pork. Like, when people talk about my stuff, I want them to say boutique as well. You know, I mean, as far as that goes.
Not trying to be Ford. We don't need a car in every driveway. Ferrari sells every car they make.
Yeah, and you know, I'm not trying to say I don't want people to get it, but you know, I want people to get it that are going to enjoy it and they go for it. They want it, you know, and they want it because it's mine, and they see the transparency in it. I show everything about my operation on the Facebook side, and pictures of how we feed, interaction, my son with Hannon interacting with them, with, you know, with everything when people come over, and how we do everything, and you know, people like that. So I mean, that's part of what they're paying for.
What? No, we'll go over there and we'll show it in a minute. How much property are you running right now?
Well, just to the pigs, I have the pigs set to 10 acres, and I do like 2.5 and 3 acre paddocks and divide it up and rotate them. And then I have a few bigger runs in some areas, and I'm expanding and going to do probably another 20-25 acres to divide up in paddocks for more pigs. And what I'm doing is typically when they're weaned at about 6 weeks age, pull them off and put them in a different pasture that has a different ground forage base from to graze on. There are certain things that I've had to learn. Like, I'm a first generation farmer, you know, especially when it comes to pork with the Jewish background. You know, that's the big thing right there. So everything, you know, I've pretty much taught myself. I visited a few pig farms and talked with a few people, but learning, you know. Sugar cured, black pepper cured. That's a large black heritage breed. It's a GOS Berkshire cross right there, but it's all brown sugar. You see on there. It's all bacon. That is an entire ingle full of bacon. Oh, Cajun sausage for Mr. Horton himself.
Have you seen Jeremy yet?
I had. I told him I'd leave some.
You leaving it here?
Yeah, it might get gone.
Yeah, we'll eat that today.
There's y'all's ground sausage and stuff.
I don't even know if Jeremy's in town right now.
I don't know. He said, "Hey man, if you got any eggs."
Hi man, dang old dizzle.
That's one of our favorites. It's a tomato basil bratwurst. It's real good.
That sounds good.
Yeah, we do a traditional German style brat. Kent got a bunch of ham. I mean, that's beautiful cured ham.
Shit, I didn't know you were
steaks.
doing ham.
Oh yeah, we do beautiful cured hams. Nice salt, pepper, black pepper. But like, I brought those for Jeff Blanton and stuff. He'd hit me up. But, yeah, so y'all got a ton of bacon.
Cool.
Should be 35 pounds at least left in there.
Awesome.
And then all y'all sausage.
Well, cool, man. We'll give me a total. We'll get evened up and cook some of it.